are having this video chat, and I invite you to join us, Skype us, the details are on screen. We also have a senior Rotarian, a very young and dynamic past DRR, Pankaj Patharford with us, who will share his views about the e-clubs. Many Rotarians world over feel that Rotary future is in e-clubs. So let us understand how we feel. Pankaj, you can take us just behind some back journey of history of Rotary e-clubs, how people conceptualize and how it has gone ahead.
So thank you very much, Sanjay, and congratulations on kicking off such a successful Congress. I think this is the way forward. And as I was waiting to be beamed on, I just tweeted saying future has happened, because I think what we are doing now is future has happened and future is now. And you did talk about it, you alluded to it, and that's probably the reason why Rotary International many years ago, a few years ago, if not many, but started to think about how to target that population of youth who really wants to make a difference, but for professional reasons or personal reasons might not be able to, meet the construct of a regular club meeting. So how do you reach wider? How do you become a global citizen? And I think that's really what e-clubs is all about. How do you become a Rotary family member and a global citizen? Rotary District 3140 took that step a couple of years ago and started e-clubs. I'll be candid and honest in saying that I think we've learned our lessons through that journey. We have had some great successes. We have been able to bring in, colleagues who are global citizens to be into the Rotary fraternity because of the e-club structure. So clearly, it has proved its construct, and I don't think it should leave doubt in anyone's mind as to why not e-clubs or why e-clubs. But we also learn our lessons. For example, if you look more specifically at the 3140 experience, I think there needs to be a combination of some amount of connect into the Rotary in terms of meet connect. And I think it's very similar to the conversation that we typically have in terms of how do you stay on top of a social media, digital, and yet how do you emotionally connect? And I think e-clubs is a brilliant construct where you can do both. And that I would say has been the 3140 experience so far. We are still young as compared to some other e-clubs, but I think we have enough experiences to learn, share, and talk more.
So how many clubs have been, if you rough idea that how many clubs per district as such? I understand you can have 2 e-clubs per district, but is there any change currently that you can have more or less? How it is? What is the world scenario of e-clubs as the moment?
So so my take on this, right, and I'm not necessarily an expert, so I would learn through this Congress as well.
Okay.
I think my take of is that there is no restriction of number of clubs in a district.
Okay.
The fact that our district itself has 4 that I can quickly relate to.
Okay.
I also think the concept of an e-club is almost to break boundaries. So e-clubs is a brilliant another example of going global, across cultures. Almost, leading the way when it comes to diversity and inclusion and all combinations, including the global citizenship. So I think, to best of my knowledge, I don't think there is any limitation on how many e-clubs can a district have.
Okay.
What I would definitely say is sustainability is the key. So I think what each one of us should think about is how does the e-club sustain itself and stays just as much as you make efforts to sustain a regular Rotary club.
So basically, apart from meeting on the internet, not meeting physically every week, the e-clubs meet once in a week. How does it operate as such?
So our experiences around e-clubs is that I think Rotary International has been very encompassing, if that's the word that comes to my mind, in terms of how do you leverage the social media construct, the profile of members who normally would leverage the e-club construct because they're busy professionals traveling around or globally located in different parts of the world or the city or the country. so there is a construct where you can have a formal meeting. You can have an infrastructure where the meeting is left open for others in different time zones, or depending on the convenience, to kind of give their comments. You could have spotlights where you could invite, like this session, where we are not in the same place. We are in completely different locations, but we're still interacting as much as one would in a traditional Rotary meeting. And you can see me, I can see you. We can ask, chat. So no different, except that I can't shake hands with you physically, right? But I can still wave to you.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the construct that e-clubs work with. You can also bring in video. There is infrastructure. So, for example, again, Rotary District 3140 has kind of started to pilot with some of the infrastructure that we have, that we can offer to infant e-clubs who are just taking their first initial baby steps into that journey. And as long as you have the basics like a website, a chat infrastructure, and an ability to connect like we've just done, then it's much more effective. The only other thing I would say, Sanjay, is we are also toying with the idea of, as we learn, it's almost like a baby step, and then you suddenly start to crawl, and then to walk, and then to run. We think at this point of time, there is a think or a thought process in 3140 around what we call as a hybrid club. So what does that really mean is it's a combination of e-clubs in all respects, but kind of think about an idea where the e-club at least once in a month, at least meet, face to face, or does a project together, especially for those e-clubs where the participation is more geographically easier or limited or restricted. So in that sense, they're in the same circuit. Okay. So it's not too much of travel to get together, because that also starts to build the camaraderie, the emotional connect. And then they can go back again to the e-club infrastructure and the wider technology infrastructure on their day-to-day basis.
Because many people have doubt whether for e-club member have to log in simultaneously, or they can log in during the week. How it operates, basically functions. At a particular time, like we meet physically at a particular place, particular time. In e-club also, they have to meet like that?
So the understanding and the experiences we have had is we normally decide a time. Typically, a meeting is for 45 minutes, where you normally announce, and most people log in the same time. Okay. But it also gives you the ability where you leave the meeting open, as it is called, for the next few days, where some of the members who could not join at that time can join in, reflect on the conversation. It's almost like how you do a look back of your history. It's like you go through the session, you kind of reflect on the views, you can post your comments and observations.
Okay.
And then at an agreed date, the meeting is closed, and then that whole session gets recorded as a meeting.
So in a way, it is better that you are connected throughout the week rather than
Indeed.
once in a week. I think that will be a great benefit of e-clubs.
I mean, also, if you think about our friends who are, and I'm just picking up one small example of our colleagues who are non-resident Indians, right? Yeah. And if you had somebody who's there, then you could do a meeting in India, and the colleague or a Rotary fraternity family member can dial in the night, give their comments, and both can come together.
And how is typically managed? How these e-clubs are managed? It's the same setup like we have.
So no different, except for the e-infrastructure that goes in, okay. And therefore one could think about, you don't need regular meeting place, but you will still do projects. Other than that, the commitments don't change. The commitments to the Rotary fraternity remains the same. The commitment to the districts remains the same. Your fees have to be commensurate to the infrastructure cost that you have. Whether it's running the infrastructure in this case, or the projects you run, your TRF commitments or your commitment to TRF is unchanged. So it's absolutely same as any other Rotary club, except that you leverage the technology infrastructure. Don't meet in one place face to face. Like I said, you don't get to shake hands, but you can still wave at each other over a video.
So Pankaj, being a Rotarian, you have experienced the regular club meetings also and the e-club meeting. How you say that, where there lies the opportunity for e-clubs as such? Which area you feel will be a reason where the e-clubs will grow?
So I
Time
like
constraint?
they give
Time
an
constraint?
I think so. I think, you know, like an investor advice which says that I'm not, this is absolutely my personal opinion.
Okay.
With that caveat, say, Sanjay, I think the future is e-clubs. I genuinely believe so. Not because I'm on this conference, but because I think that is how the world is heading to. If you really want to tap them young, if you want to, you know, bring the young, high energetic, you know, and talent pool into the Rotary fraternity, and that pool is mobile. They are, you know, professionals who have to be in different parts of the world or cities. You know, then e-club is the way forward, and probably the only way forward. And I think that's exactly why Rotary International years back thought about this and started this concept, because the whole idea being that if we didn't have this infrastructure, then you know, I think we will not be able to tap that young, bubbling, high energetic crowd, which otherwise is mobile, and yet wants to make a difference to the society, wants to make difference to the community, and wants to be a part of Rotary.
Pankaj,
Thanks,
we are
Sanjay.
talking about youth, that you should join Rotary. Can you say what youth will benefit coming to Rotary and being part of e-club? We know that, okay, we want them to join. Some don't join because they find time constraint, they are traveling, too busy in their own affairs, they are developing careers and other things. Do you see any benefit of Rotary youth joining Rotary and joining future e-clubs?
I think, you know, if you know, my take of it, again, very personal take of it, is that the youth of today is challenging. Youth of today has much wider experience and exposure, globally, internationally, and youth of today wants to make a difference. They are more committed to making difference. I think youth of today also professionally settles at a much earlier and a faster pace than probably the past. Is one of the, you know, I was reading this somewhere else on stats, and that's what it is. And if that is true, then, you know, a youth with that emotional connect and professional commitment will want to do something for the society at large. The constraint that the youth has is because in this dynamic, busy global world, you're most time traveling, or you're working different hours, or you're working in different time zones. And I think that is the advantage of clubs. I mean, you know, all of us should be able to relate to the fact that we are all global citizens, right? I mean, two generations back, if I think about how many people travel in India abroad, must be very handful, right? Very few in that sense. Today, you know, you look at the airports; they're more busy than, you know, some of our local bus stations.
Yeah.
So we are becoming a global citizen, and if that is the profile of the youth of going forward, who spends its time on mobile phones or on iPads, stay connected through different infrastructure, then to tap them, we got to hit that channel.
So what way you are visualizing to increase membership in e-clubs, being a force behind our district e-clubs? How do you visualize that? How you will think of increasing the membership?
Oh, some of it is very easy, Sanjay. So, for example, you know, returning youth exchange team members, RYEs, we should tap them. Rotractors, brilliant source of, you know, induction into Rotary or pipeline. Alumni, right? Rotarians who've not been able to, who have left the Rotary movement purely because of their inability to attend, you know, every week that face-to-face physical meeting, you know, would love to come back because they have tasted the commitment of a Rotary and want to be a part of Rotary. So they are the ones. So like I said, you know, our youth exchange programs, our ILA programs, our Rotaract fraternity, alumni, easy connects, if you think about it.
Pankaj, let me invite others who are on the Skype, if they are looking at the program and would like to share their views. I will want them to connect to us. And we also have Rajit Menon, I think your colleague and past DRR. So let me see if I can get him through, so he can also share some of his ideas about the future of e-clubs.
Thank you very much,
We'll
Sanjay.
get back to you if we connect both of you. Thank you very much, Pankaj. Thank you.
Thanks, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Like this, I can wave to you.
Friends, this was Pankaj, a very young and dynamic person, and I think for people like Pankaj, we have been very senior in Rotary, and we know that today the youth finds it difficult to spare time, go to a particular place on a particular day. As Pankaj said, they are global citizen. So for youth, future is e-clubs, and Rotary's future lies in the youth. The more young blood comes in Rotary, Rotary has survived 100 years and it has to survive another 100 years. It will happen when youth gets involved, and Rotary has lot of things to offer to youth, as Pankaj was sharing. Personal growth, of return to the society, what they get from the society can happen through Rotary. So let us see if I can get Rajit online. Rajit has been very senior, he is again a very young, he has been Rotary as a Rotractor, he was a past DRR, and now he is a Rotarian. So he has a lot of experience in Rotary. I think we are getting him in online, just give me a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Hi Sanjay.
Yeah, Rajit, welcome to the chat.
Hi Sanjay, good to hear you
Yeah.
after a long time. Nice
Yes,
to hear
yes.
from you.
We just had Pankaj with us, and we shared something about the future of e-clubs. Now,
Yes,
Rajit,
yes.
what I would like to know from you, that how e-clubs can participate in projects. They meet online on the internet, but how you see e-clubs performing the projects for the society like the Rotarians? What way you feel they can?
So, Sanjay, personally, I feel that an e-club that Rotary has conceived for the last about 10 years has been from a perspective that it's not different from any traditional Rotary club. It's basically a technology enabler for people who have got constraints of time and things like that. Having said that, all the other rules, regulations, and projects and everything remain same. Somewhere I was of this reading where it said that every Rotarian who is a part of the E-Club, at least the Rotary E1, they have a 12-hour quarterly kind of project which they need to participate for Rotarians who are a part of the Rotary E1, which is, I guess, the first club which was made under the Rotary International project of E-Clubs way back, I think, in 2001, 2002. Having said that, I see that future of Rotary E-Club is more on the hybrid, particularly if I speak from India. I wouldn't be able to speak for the other nations, but as a country where we believe fellowship is much bigger and higher and we like to meet people, I think hybrid model rather than a 100% E-Club would work. So when you're doing a hybrid where you do a once a month meeting or a project, I think using technology, today there is so many things that is happening in technology. You know, we are already seeing Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal doing great in India, which means people are buying left, right, center on online. They're all talking on WhatsApp and things like that. And you have anything, any challenges that happen, which is in the form of a flood or a famine or anything that happens, you're already aware because your WhatsApp gets flooded with messages saying, don't go by this way and that way. So when it comes to community service, I think technology can be used by all the members who are members of the E-Club, either sitting at their own home by ensuring that information is passed at the right time and help is reaching to whoever it is concerned. Now, whether they're all coming together physically or whether they are sitting and doing it on their own, my bottom line take on this is that the job has to be done. And I guess the current name of the game is speed, and technology enables it, I would say.
In fact,
also what I...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was also saying, also I would say that because by having an E-Club, the world is your domain. I mean, the whole world is available for you. So you have your network across. So a lot of contributions can be brought up to the TRF, I would feel. Because you could write to, or you could email or WhatsApp to your network about the good work that Rotary does. And accordingly, you could probably crowdsource money, not only for TRF projects, but or any specific project. I think that is something that I feel because internet is so vast, because it could be viral and it could be at a speed of light, I guess you could bring in a lot of money to the TRF and other projects. And once you have the money and resources will definitely follow, whether it is going to be used in Africa or whether it is going to be used in some other countries which need it. I guess the end of the day is that you've got through people to come together and do projects at places by either funding them or asking some friends to go and help them there.
Rajit, just to add to you, because I personally feel, see what Rotary needed as such, we have been talking that we need a good PR. We do a lot of
Right.
good work, but many people feel that it's not visible or people don't know. And the e-clubs have an edge over it, because being a media savvy, they can use the latest social medias and other new ways of public relations and really make their project seen in the community. So, how do
Absolutely.
you look at it?
Absolutely. So the moment we talk E, and the moment it is E, we are in the world of Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and
Yeah.
so many things. And I'm sure, we're not trying to promote all these brands, but at the end of the day, that's social media today.
Yeah.
So using this social media in your own network, everybody today, I guess, if you were to take your mobile phone, you will have 100 people in your contact list. I might have 100 people in my contact list. And I'm sure everybody is either on WhatsApp or on Facebook or on Twitter, something or the other as social media is concerned.
Yeah.
So if a club, I mean, I'm not saying only e-club, I would say when traditional clubs, when they do any projects which are good in size, their videos are uploaded, they're on YouTube, and the links are shared at the Facebook level or the Twitter level, I'm sure this good work at some point in time will get recognized. And if there is a Rotary logo attached to it, I'm sure the wheel will be seen and noticed far and large. So that itself will generate PR. The only thing is that I guess my take is as follows. Rotary has not yet reached to the average age of say 40 or 45 because traditional
Okay.
clubs still have members who are probably 60 and beyond. Now, with due respect to everyone, the adaptation of technology, I believe, is taken far by people who are in the 20 to 35 age group today, probably.
Okay.
They are more
Okay.
savvy, they are more techno savvy, and they will be able to understand the updates and changes faster. So the members in the Rotary world who are a little older and seniors, I
Okay.
guess if there could be an updation to them in terms of how to use technology for communicating the good work that they're doing,
Okay.
I think that also is a very good starting point. So that we have a mix of youngsters who are wanting to come into Rotary and the old senior people who are guiding us by doing good projects as to what happened, and that is communicated. So this balance could change the name of the game in 5 years to come.
And how you see the role of e-clubs for the world understanding in peace, because we call it our global NGO as such, and Rotary brings the globe together. So how the e-club can play a better role?
So take an example of this program. It's a Congress. It's a well thought of program. Now, I don't know how many countries, how many members are seeing it. So if
Okay.
you're going to have a symposium on peace and the whole world, and there could be enough people to come and speak on it, and various people tomorrow, you could have peace scholars coming and talking on what their experiences. You could have Nobel Prize winners who probably need not be spent money by flying them in and out, but then they could be speaking from their homes or offices. But the bottom line is that you could have their thoughts shared among people, and that thought, why you should have world understanding and peace and things like that, if it is communicated and percolated to many members through technology, I think it's a
Okay.
great starting point.
And e-clubs can do similarly the Global Grant project or the projects internationally as such, and take part in youth exchange activity and a lot of activities of Rotary International.
I guess, Sanjay, like I said in the start, there is no great difference between an e-club
Okay,
and a normal
okay.
club. Let's
So-
understand that clearly, because my understanding about the statement of policy or the MOP or the bylaws, everything is same for a normal e-club. It's just that they are
Okay.
meeting online.
Okay.
So if there are projects to be taken which are under the ambit of global grants or any other which fits into the realm of the Rotary International
Rotary,
bylaws and things
okay.
like that,
Okay.
why not? I mean, it can be easily taken up. One thing I would like to also add is that a culture in our Rotary district 3140, I'm sure other districts as well, is that we should encourage makeup attendance.
Okay.
That's a starting point, because traditional clubs when members are not able to attend, I think if they could be given, like I used to do makeup attendance 5 years back when I was a Rotarian through e-clubs when it was under the pilot system.
Okay.
And I used to ensure that, somehow, because we used to be very clear that we should have an 100% attendance,
Okay,
because
okay,
one
okay.
of the main aspects of being a Rotarian is also to have proper attendance and participation in projects. So makeup attendance is a good starting point, I think, for bringing people into the world of e-club.
Rajit, being a DRR and a senior Rotractors, how do you feel the e-club should be managed? How it is basically anything different as a management in terms of managing the e-club than the conventional club?
Uh, well, not really. As long as managing would be that technology plays a key role here.
Okay.
So people who are technology savvy is somebody who would be looking forward to be a member of an e-club.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not saying that people cannot adapt. Once you adapt and you are good on technology and savvy towards it, I'm sure you could be a participant to e-club. In India, in this part of the world, we're still evolving on broadband. We are hoping 4G has come in and
Yeah.
there could be better speed and things like that. So the
Okay.
next 5 years, we are at the cusp of a revolution as far as technology and speed of internet is concerned. So I guess as that increases, the ease to do meetings or discussions and group chats and video calling and everything will be easier because it's a little put off when you were doing a call and suddenly you get dropped.
Yeah,
You're
true.
going to say something and then you get dropped means you don't like it, and that's where we are in this country today, infrastructurally. But
Yeah.
if we are overcoming those things, I think we as India, I would say, I'm sure the Western world is far ahead in terms of the broadband speed and things like that. So they will have a better
True.
way of doing chats and things like that. But I guess there are various other options as well. I mean, there is Google Hangout, and like we're doing it on Skype today. There could be paid certain things which also could give you a better speed and things like that.
Okay.
So managing to answer is easy, not a very difficult task.
Okay.
And is a very welcome thing, I would say, in years to come.
So constitutionally, they follow the same rules like bylaws and.
Yeah, to the best
Governing-
of my understanding, I think
The constitution and
the
bylaws.
constitution and bylaws. It's just that you will call them as Rotary Club of e-clubs, so
Okay.
and so,
Okay.
whatever. Nomenclature would be a little different.
So,
Yeah, I guess that's what I understand.
so it's all everything similar to the conventional club. Except
my
the meeting
understanding
is
is yes.
happening on the internet. That's the difference primarily.
Well, like I would like to always use the word, e-club is only a technology-enabled thing. Rest
Okay.
everything, as of now, remains same.
So where do you see e-clubs in 2020? Maybe after another 5-6 years.
I would go to the extent of saying that there is a possibility, probably by 2020 or another by 2025, that there would be some traditional clubs who will decide to go and say that let's become an e-club.
Okay. So the governor
Because,
should
you
be
know,
the honors rise on
No.
the governor whether he would like to.
so Sanjay, just imagine in the millennium year, I'm going back 15 years, 99,
Okay.
2000.
Yeah.
Nobody even knew about what is internet. Nobody knew about e-club. Just
Right.
15 years down the line, we are having a conversation on e-club, right?
Right.
I would say by 2030, at least 15 years from now, there would be definitely traditional clubs who will say that it's easier to do a e-club meeting, particularly in cities which are metros like Mumbai, where if there is a challenge on cost and infrastructural things and everything, and plus I would say, if you have to kind of manage time because everybody is busy in a city like
True,
Mumbai,
true,
and
true.
I would say Delhi or other places like Chennai, and I would take more names, but then there would be this feeling among members that let's keep connected to each other. God knows tomorrow your mobile phone is going to be everything. I mean, you will be walking, sleeping with the mobile phone, and
Mobile,
you will be connected. And you are doing meetings, and you are talking to people, and you could have a speaker who will be sitting in the US and giving you some information on the new trend, and all members are listening to him. So why not a traditional club go to that? I'm taking to that extent. So I think a great future lies in the e-club. It's just that how well we adapt and how infrastructurally we are going to be equipped as a city, as a country, and even other places in the world will make a difference to the speed at which it will be adapted.
Thank you very much, Rajit.
Pleasure, Sanjay.
Thank
Been
you
nice
very
talking.
much. Friends, this was Rajit and Pankaj. I invite you all to be part of the World Congress, first World Congress of E-Clubs, which is going to be inaugurated tomorrow. RI District 3140 is holding the first ever World Congress of Rotary Youth E-Clubs. Thank you very much.